weeks ago, I mentioned that I had gone to a wedding with my husband of one of my dear girlfriends, and her husband's daughter got married, and it was a beautiful wedding. And I love going to weddings because I always feel that I learned something new about myself or about my relationships with others, but most particularly about my relationship with my husband. So I thought this week a good prompt would be, what lesson have you learned from your significant other? Now, your significant other doesn't necessarily have to be your husband or wife. It could be a very dear friend that's been close to you. You could be separated or divorced, but you've still learned some life lesson from that relationship. You could have unfortunately suffered a loss, but again, there's always a lesson that we learn from the relationships that we're in. And I think that's why the universe attracts us to certain people, so we will learn the lesson. So this week, let's prompt, what lesson have you learned from your significant other? So let's get started. wedding, one of the poems that the readers said was basically, even though I don't know the exact words of the poem, but it was sort of like, once the blossoms of new love have all fallen away by the wayside after years and years of being together, that the roots of the two trees, which are signified here by the fabric I sewed on, become intertwined and they're impossible to separate. So I just thought that really signified my relationship with my husband. We've been together for 37 years now, and like most couples, we've had our highs and lows and hills and valleys, which I drew a valley and a hill here, and things are great when they're on the hill, but as you all know, you get in a valley, but you eventually come out of it and things are really good. And it's so true that you go through so many things with each other, and you've grown up together and you've become each other's best friend, and nobody knows that other person as well as you do, and I know him and he knows me. And it's so true that even though the blossoms of that new love fall away at some point, you're still intertwined and you could never be separated. So that's basically what I wrote on my journaling. And I found this little piece of paper, and it had the daily grind on it, and I thought, that's so true. That is just the daily grind. We need to stop and take time to smell the roses, as they say, and appreciate what you have. If you're fortunate enough to be with somebody that you love and you found that person, you should take time to be thankful for that. So what I did to signify the trees, I took two pieces of fabric. This one's me and this one is my husband Richard, or signifies us. And then I tore what would be the roots and braided it in with some nubby fiber, and it just kind of represents all the other things in our lives and our children and all the things you've gone through and how you're all intertwined and it's all together. And I made some paper flowers, just basically circles cut from different pieces of printed paper, and then I inked them in brown, and then I interspersed some Prima flowers in. I painted the background with really pretty blue, and then I painted the grassy part of the hill and valley with a lighter green, and I used bubble wrap, just plain bubble wrap as kind of a stamp to make the kind of dimension in the green part. The sun, I mixed orange and yellow together and just used my finger and swiped my finger for the rays. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and then I took a white Signo gel pen and just made little tiny dots, as you can see, just throughout. It isn't signifying snow, but I just thought it gave that blank area a little bit of pop. So that's my page, and I really can't wait to see what you guys create on this one. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say a big, huge, sincere thank you to all of my subscribers and all of you that are kind enough to leave comments and also to send me private email messages. You have no idea how much they mean to me. They're wonderful. It's nice to know that somebody out there is watching and is enjoying the things that I do. So thank you so very, very, very much. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.